What is going on, everybody, and welcome into a different look right now. We got some guys out right now, but we're back. It's SEC After Dark, your favorite show on Thursday night. I'm joined as always with Jeb, Mike, Boss Man. How y'all doing tonight, guys?
Doing good, man.
I'm doing well.
Good to be here.
Yeah,
I'll be back. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks for you on this show, and I called. Mike was on your show last night. Y'all did great. I was able to catch about half of it. But man, we got a lot of shows going on this channel specifically. So it's great. Jump on board and roll with us because this train it's not stopping anytime soon. That's for sure.
We're pumping out a lot of good content, man. I was talking. Mike and I had a great show last night. We really had a good time talking ball, talking so much that's going on at SEC Media Days, and talking about one of those new shows that's on the network, Off Season After Dark, man. So so much content being pumped out on the After Dark network. It's been fun.
So much quality facial hair by Hammer too.
Oh man, yeah. I saw. I got on the last second of that picture. I saw that. That was amazing, though.
Oh man, maybe I could show it here tonight. Let me see if I can upload it. Yeah. I think I can. Give me 1 second here.
We'll have to see because Jeb is probably in the dark. He's like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, I've not seen this.
All right, here it goes. 1, 2, 3.
I love it. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
He's working on that Fu Manchu. Yeah.
He needs to keep that forever.
He does. Well, so I was telling Mike last night, it's so he got 3 compliments on it. He shaved it. They went to the grocery store to get groceries, and he got 3 compliments. His fiance Jenny was texting us. And I texted back. I said, if he gets 10 compliments, can he keep it permanently and keep it for the wedding? And so she said, yeah, I think so. So we have like a compliment tracker right now that we're
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7. All of us here. So there's 7. So we just need 3 more. We get Steve and Steve and Corey. That's 9. So hopefully we get one more.
Rick, I'm sure Rick can give him a good comment. Well, Rick probably did last night.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, help us out. There he is.
So there's our team. There's our 10. So you got to let her know that it's permanent now. So
that's right. Yeah.
That's a great comment. The American Shoppers, Paul Senior.
That's so good. That is so good.
Yeah.
Guys, SEC is the best football ever. I can't disagree with that at all. So
never disagree.
I mean, the northern Midwesterner in me and Minnesota native will say the Gophers are the last team to win 3 national titles in a row. So.
You got a good point. So
1932.
It did happen in the late 30s.
Yeah. That's close.
The streak was broken by Texas A&M in 1939.
Yes,
that's right. That's right. So that's
not then.
Yeah, not then. But
actually, that's a great question. Was it the SEC then? I don't even know.
No.
I know the Big Ten was the Big Ten then. I do know that.
Really? Okay, so it's been around for a while.
SEC was the 60s, I believe. Am I crazy on that?
I think you're right. I think it was. It used to be like Southeast. It was like.
Steve could give us a rundown of it if he was
here.
But.
I mean,
oh man, we're way wrong. 1932.
So
it was way back. Yeah.
So SEC's been a while.
That was when Tulane was back in the conference as a founding member, and then
I think Georgia Tech was in too. I believe.
Yeah, that Southern Conference you were talking about, I think, with some other teams that some of them joined the SEC, but because that way, or Southwest or something, is that what Arkansas was in?
Yeah, the Southwest. Yeah,
it was Arkansas, then all the Texas schools, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Is another South something?
Because you have Texas A&M, Tech, Rice, Baylor, like Houston. Yeah, all of those schools pretty much were in there.
Gotcha.
And then we still Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that SEC, we just got done with media days this week, and I want to bring up we'll get fully deep into it, but I have a couple of little excerpts that some quotes that I thought were pretty funny from some of the different commentators and all that. But did y'all see what linebacker from Vandy, Radon Fontanetti, I think his name, what he said?
No.
No.
So he said. So he was asking about Jerry Keel, the chief consultant to Vandy, and he said, "That's my guy, we connect because we're both messed up in the head." I'm like, wow. I mean, yeah,
it's a good endorsement, I guess.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, okay,
that's a good football quote, man.
It is.
What do they call him on Barstool? A football guy? That's a football guy.
Right. That's a football guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Then of course Kirby was saying that he's going to, hire Nick Saban from the old Muschamp's, position, but he's overqualified. So that's
so Boss Man showed a great clip. Was it the Sark one? Then did you see what Eli Drinkwitz said today when he walked to the podium?
No,
at least I got the fight song right.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I know Mike Elko said something about if y'all was expecting me to come on the eyes of Texas, and you got it wrong.
So. You lost the bet.
Yeah, you lost the bet.
Drink had some other good quotes, man. I think he got up there. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but he said, like, I'm not talking about the Epstein list. I'm not talking about the JFK files. I'm here to talk about Mizzou football.
That's so good. That's so good.
I shared that clip on Twitter today, so those of you who can go to my
I gotta find
it. It was a pretty good one. Yeah,
I gotta find that.
Yeah.
Another crazy one was like Caden Proctor. He owns 170 bottles of cologne, and he made comment that he said, "I'm a big guy, and everyone thinks big guys are stinky, and I want to change that narrative." So 170 bottles of cologne would probably do that. Probably run people out of your building, if you that you're in. But
there was a couple good quotes about guys shooting, shots across the bow too. A couple good questions. Yep. There's I forget who it was. One of the kids from Alabama. They were asking a question. Who was? Oh, they were talking about Florida State and Castellanos, who keeps. I don't know why that kid keeps talking trash, man. He got benched at Boston College. Like, why? He's talking trash like he's Johnny Manziel or Diego Pavia or somebody who's like got some skins on the wall. He had a decent season 2 years ago when he played at BC. He played pretty well. But then last year, it didn't go as well. He gets benched. And now he's walking into Florida State like he's, the second coming of Charlie Ward or something. Yeah. And, kids are getting asked about it. And I forget again who it was from Bama, but they responded just like, we're gonna see what happens. Like we're gonna start. Don't you worry.
Yeah, they pretty much said that the talk will be addressed on the field pretty much. Right. So so they but we'll see. And it's trash talk is fine, but like you said, have some skins on the wall to back up your credit, your credibility a little bit. But he has nothing really.
Again, there's some decent highlights on YouTube. Go look him up. Right? Yeah. 2 years ago, Thomas Castellanos, he had some great highlights. He's a pretty good runner. Like throwing the ball, not so much. But the past year, for the fact that he gets benched and now is talking all this smoke, like again, he's the second coming to Charlie Ward or Jameis Winston coming into FSU. It's ridiculous.
And struggled last year when a guy that's a good QB coach and Bill O'Brien came in as your new head coach and he wasn't up to snuff for him. So, maybe he does well with Gus. Now he spent his first year of college at UCF with Gus. So maybe going back with him will help.
Yeah.
It may do it. It may do it. I mean,
and by the way, like if I'm Florida State, especially, if I'm Mike Norvell, after the season that we had last year, who are we to talk any smoke?
Right.
Keep your head down. And keep the talk to a minimum. We need to walk in with quiet confidence, and then we need to go out and we need to prove it. We need to start stacking up wins. Okay, maybe we get Alabama, and get a little bit of luck on our side. The ball bounces our way. Okay, like we get a little bit of momentum. Just start stacking wins and shut your mouth. Like you were 2-10 last year. What are we talking about?
Yeah. I saw something about Castellanos. He made that comment in front of Cam Ward and Isaiah Horton, and Isaiah Horton is now on Alabama's team, and he went to Isaiah and was like, "Look, I'm trying to instill confidence in the guys and try to boost morale around here. That's the only. I don't mean no disrespect by it. So maybe he's kind of backtracking it a little bit. I can see it being a confidence thing because when you are 2-10, you need something,
But again, you have to back up the swagger on the field. They haven't done that on the field. You can do that, and you can do it in the locker room. right? Like that happens in the weight room. It happens on the practice field. That
Right.
stuff instills the confidence. It's not the swagger being public when you have nothing to back it up with.
That's right.
And I think that's part of why, he did that 1 week after. Diego Pavia basically did the same thing. And we treated those two things a lot different, even though they basically said the same things. And I don't think that was right, but I also get why it happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'll be the first to say, no one's gotten more mileage out of one win against Bama than Diego Pavia has.
There is one man. His name is Johnny Manziel, and he is still living off of that one. But
man,
I'm with you.
So does Stephen Garcia, and so does Stephen Garcia in South Carolina.
Stephen Garcia, sure, There's a couple in there.
That's Vanderbilt's biggest win in 50 years. They deserve
Zach Calzada
to enjoy.
Am I right?
Zach Calzada,
for sure. Yeah.
The thing about Pavia is, a year after Manziel beat Alabama, he comes to Alabama, gets his brains busted in. Yeah. So now Pavia has to come to Alabama. So it very well could happen again.
Well, and that's what I think will be interesting to see how they react, because under the Saban era, you did not want to give Alabama fuel. They didn't need that. It's you were better off catching them when they were maybe overlooking you or just maybe treating it like a regular game.
And the few times
you would never have done this under Saban.
You didn't want to play him after a loss.
No.
Yeah.
So we didn't get our brains beat in. That was the Kenny Trill year.
Yeah, that's right.
We beat Alabama in Alabama. I was at that game, the craziest game I've ever been at in my life. I have that skin on the wall. That's a whole different story for another day. I might have told it on here, but the next year, 2013, I think A&M went up like 14-0 again.
Yeah,
and Bama stormed all the way back and then led most of the, I think, second quarter through the rest of the game. But there was the comeback at the end where they threw the 100-yard touchdown to Mike Evans.
Yep,
and then I think it was within a score. And then Bama ended up winning, I want to say by 14 or something. But then the year after that, that was when A&M came in, I think 6-0 and got beat 59-0. That was the beginning of the end for the Sublin era.
But then the Calzada, when you beat them with Calzada, the next year, you guys had a chance to win at the last play of the game. And they called an awful play near the outside of the hash.
I know.
Maybe one of the worst. There's been many bad play calls in the last decade, or at least half decade of A&M football. That was at the top. I mean, the pylon throw with a quarterback in Haynes King, who that's just not his strength at all. Everyone on the field knows it, and to throw this spot ball to the pylon when the receiver didn't even get into the end zone, it was just the whole thing was bad.
Well, Alabama kind of had the same, or Georgia really had the same thing happen to them when they played Alabama in the SEC championship game. If one year, they was down, by like a touchdown or something, and might have been only 3 points, and they was driving, got down there like 3-yard line, and just threw it out into the flats, and there's 2 guys there. I mean, I don't understand play calls in that situation.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, what else we got?
I was saying that situation with athletes that are that elite, I don't want to make it a one-on-one with one receiver and one D-back.
No.
Right.
I want to, especially with the Haynes King, get him out, give him the option to run throw, get a couple guys cross and doing something like that where you're letting him make that decision. And you're putting defenders in conflict.
Right, exactly. One thing I saw, and I want to get y'all's thoughts on this, Venables, he said that they try to keep Jackson Arnold, and eventually, Arnold left and went to Auburn. But you think he said he really didn't have that great of a year because he wasn't put in a situation to succeed. And I mean, I understand that completely. When you're pulling guys out of the stands to run plays at wide receiver, you're kind of in a tough luck situation. But what do y'all think about that? You really think he wanted to keep him? But John Mateer, I think, is a whole lot better, offensively in that system for Venables.
I mean, what is he going to say? No, that dude sucks. We didn't want him anymore. To me, it's actions speak louder than words. Maybe they wanted him to stay, but you didn't want him to stay as a starter. And there's a big difference.
You'd
wanting him on the roster versus him being the guy's a big difference there.
That's true.
I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to keep him as a starter, honestly. I actually I think Brent Venables is a class act through and through. I mean, the guy, he is always like, when he's talking to the media, he always comes across as above it all, but
Right.
in a good way, right? Like
That's fair. Yeah.
And so that's how it came across to me, is that he completely owned it. And he was right.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that he said, he went through the points. He was like, us as coaches, we did not put him in the best position to win. And that's on, he didn't say it, but it was on him. And what he said, alluded to that. And I think he's right. I mean, at the end of the day, the Seth Luttrell hire is on him. And, I don't even think he put Seth Luttrell in the best position, to be successful there.
No.
Based on the roster, right? I don't think what Seth Luttrell wanted to do, really, the roster was constructed in that way. So I think Seth Luttrell is going to be, fine, going forward. It was just a bad fit, bad situation. But then that also goes down, and trickles down to Jackson Arnold. He was not put in the best position to be successful at Oklahoma. And so I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's still a supremely talented kid. I'm not ready to give up on this kid yet. He's a 5-star. In fact, I was listening to Josh Pate and Cole Kubelik today. They did a 45-minute show on Pate's feed. I think they put it out yesterday at SEC Media Days, and they were talking about that. Like, there was multiple coaches, including there was one I can't remember. It's a coach who currently is there. Go listen to it. All you guys who are listening and you guys as well. It's worth a listen. But Kubelik was saying that exactly. He was like, I'm not ready to give up on this kid yet. I remember when he was in high school, and when I had multiple coaches, and I still have coaches to this day who are currently active in the SEC, who told me at that time that he was the best quarterback that they had ever seen coming out of high school. So, we'll see. Maybe he just needed a fresh start at the end of the day. But Venables.
I don't think anybody would give up on him because, like you said, he definitely wasn't in. Yeah, he wasn't in the best position. And that's why I could believe Venables wanted to keep him, because even if the other guy fits the offense a little better, the talent that Jackson Arnold has, you just can't deny it. You want him to hit on your team.
And if you're making the case and you're trying to hire Ben Arbuckle as the O coordinator, you give him what he wants in that case. If he wants to bring his quarterback with him, you let him have that, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. And that's also a part of it too, is like shuffling those pieces, right? Like, you're not 100% sure you're going to get Ben Arbuckle. You're not 100% sure that you're going to get John Mateer. John Mateer's in the portal. John Mateer's checking other stuff out, as we heard from him at SEC Media Days. And so at the end of the day, you also have to be thinking in Brent Venables' position there. We have a 5-star quarterback who he didn't play as well as we wanted him to last year. We didn't put him in the best position to win, but he still has the talent. And if we can get that out of him, like, we're going to be really good. And we feel better about the roster coming in. We're backfilling. We've got some good pieces coming in from the portal and from recruiting. So it might be best if we can just stand pat with him and then let the pieces fall where they may. But as we sit here today, I think Oklahoma's probably in a better position today than they were right at the end of the season when they were thinking about keeping Jackson Arnold.
Out of Florida and Oklahoma, who do you think has the better year? Who do you think has potential to have the better year?
I'm looking at the schedules quick before I.
Yeah, Florida's schedule's better, but it's still rough. It's not as bad as it was last year.
Right.
I know Oklahoma has the toughest schedule in the country. I'm going to see if I have a visual.
What was that? The graphic they put up on SEC Network, I think it was like the top 11 toughest schedules in the country. Are all from the SEC, and Oklahoma and Florida, of course, were like top 3.
Yeah, well, maybe 1, 2.
Well, I want to say Arkansas might have been 1.
Okay.
But
the one I saw was Oklahoma, Florida, Arkansas, and then Wisconsin was 4th.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, so Wisconsin sneaks in there. So, but anyway, most of the top 10, I think, toughest schedules in the country were the SEC, and so I just think, look, John Mateer, there's so much hype around him. There's a lot of talk, a bunch of people talking. Jordan Rogers was on SEC, Network during SEC Media Days, really talking him up, saying, I've watched all this kid's film, really like what I see. So there's a lot of hype surrounding him, but we've also seen DJ Lagway play in the SEC. And if he's healthy, that's the big caveat. If DJ Lagway is healthy for the full year, I think the sky is the limit for that kid. He's a dark horse Heisman candidate, but I think by week 4, if he's playing really well, he's going to catapult into the Heisman race at that point.
Yep.
So I think Florida, in my opinion, probably has the better year if DJ Lagway is healthy.
Yeah.
So this is the strength of schedules, and then in parentheses is projected win totals. Though these projected win totals are a little old. These ones.
I was going to say 9.5. No, back when we had Nico, maybe. But
yeah.
But both of them at 6.5. So 6 wins.
Oh, okay. I see Wisconsin over there.
Yeah.
Man, that is tough for Wisconsin, man. Luke Fickell's just catching no breaks up there.
He's not. Yeah. He's got Alabama, week 3, week 4, something like that.
Yeah.
He's got to come to Tuscaloosa. Oof.
The interesting stat in this one, Syracuse is 14, Florida State was 29. They're the only non-SEC or Big Ten team in the top 30.
Wow.
Those two.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
And probably because they face SEC teams.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Florida State plays Bama, Syracuse plays Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and Florida State also plays Florida.
Yeah.
That's right.
Rivalry game. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
We don't have to talk about them for too long, but just quick question for you guys on Florida State. Do you think they have a bounce back year? Do you think they hit 8 wins? Are they 6-6? Where do you guys see them? It's hard to tell. I have no idea.
They do bounce back because there's no way they can be as bad as they were. It's like Mississippi State. They can't be as bad as they were last year.
That's true.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we talked about that a bit last night.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it's like we were saying, right? Like it's a wholesale change in that roster, and that's what scares me.
Right.
And I think you mentioned it, right? It was Levy who said it was a lot of first and second year guys in Starkville, and as
80% of the roster.
Yeah. Man, that's tough.
Well, one thing that may with Florida State, there's 4 top teams in that conference: Miami, Clemson, SMU, Louisville. Florida State only plays 2 of them, so you avoid Louisville and SMU. But playing Bama and Florida's on the road the last game of the year.
Yep.
That's not an easy one. But in looking and reading up on them going into the season, it sounds like Gus is really trying to get back to the basics on offense and what he's done when he had his best years at Auburn, where really have good O-line play and stress running the ball a lot. They'll be better if they can do that as a team. And I don't know that they get to 8 wins. I think they get to at least a bowl game at 6, though.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see a bowl game, but that's
the question is, does 6-6 keep Mike Norvell's job? I think there's context there. It could and it couldn't. I mean, if you're 6-5 and Florida beats the pants off of you, that's not looking good going into the bowl game.
Yeah.
So much on that too depends on. Well, first of all, I think that's right on the offense with Gus. I mean, I think about Castellanos kind of as like a Nick Marshall back in the day at Auburn.
Great comp. Great.
Yes.
Comp.
And then the other part of it on the buyout is things have changed so much on the buyout front. In fact, I heard Matt Moscona talking today to the Texags guys, and he was talking about Brian Kelly. They were asking, hey, if Brian Kelly doesn't make the playoff this year, is he on the hot seat going into 26? And Moscona basically said, I mean, yes, but at the same time, LSU, based on that contract, is tied to Brian Kelly no matter what for 10 years. And so they're gonna if they try to pay him a buyout, say after this year or after next year, it's something like between $40 and $50 million.
Sheesh.
And the days I think of A&M, there's a couple schools that are just a little bit different than everybody else with the amount of money and resources they have. A&M is one of them. Texas probably being another, but the
Ohio State would be too with Ryan.
Right, Ohio State. There's a couple up there, right? Like 5 to 8 programs that have that amount of money that they could just strike a check and say no problem. LSU's not really one of them, and so there's also schools like Florida State's the same way. Florida State, while they're a blue blood, they don't really have that money, and it changes now because of all the NIL money and all of the booster money that is now going to pay players instead of going to potential buyouts. So
I do think another thing with the Norvell and firing him, the caveat there that would scare the hell out of me if I'm Mike Norvell, how does Colorado do? If they have a good season, I'm very scared if I'm Mike Norvell, because that's the guy that the alumni, Deion's the guy that might replace you.
True.
Yeah. Yep. Boss man, you brought up an interesting point talking about now boosters have to fork their money towards the NIL. So they're not really forking money out towards buyouts. So you may not see a lot of teams having the money to, buy out a coach per se. They may just have to just tough it out and wait until a few years when the buyout gets lower that they might be able to handle it. Now, you brought up an interesting point. I never thought about that till you said that. Now they're forking more money towards NIL because they're having to, versus buyouts of coaches when their team's just garbage.
And and I don't exactly, y'all actually might know this better than I have. I'm trying to keep up with all of it and keep it straight in my mind. And, it's just moving so fast that it's hard to really keep track and understand exactly what's happening here. I read Ross Dellinger like crazy, but even still, it doesn't make sense to me sometimes. So, there's going to be a cap now, right, as to how much you can spend.
Yep.
But I don't think that that's a cap necessarily on like deals that kids can then go out and get on their own, right? So it is not.
There's no cap on that.
Exactly. So that is where that money is going. And so that, the boosters and the guys who are, say, Todd Graves of Raising Cane's, right? Or if you're local, like Lane's Chicken Fingers, which is in College Station at Texas A&M. Those guys are giving the money to the NIL collective so that they can give money to the Shamar Stewarts of the world, or now, for instance, David Hicks, who's going to start at nose tackle for A&M this year.
Yeah,
they're giving money for those sorts of deals versus the deals, or versus just being able to put money towards a potential buyout fund at these schools now. So the game has changed a lot in that respect. Where I actually don't think. It was going to be hard to ever reach the $75 million buyout number for Jimbo anyway. But now I don't think we even come close to that ever again in college football for a buyout number for a coach because of all of these new things with the money.
Right.
And that might be why we're seeing Lincoln Riley stick around, because his buyout is in the Jimbo realm. Yeah. And now he wouldn't have been fired this offseason anyway, but even he would have to be historically awful. And even then, I don't think it's a situation where they'd fire him for the buyout. I think it would be hey, I'm going to take another job somewhere else, and you're not going to charge me the buyout, but you don't have to pay me the buyout, and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
It would be, to me, almost a Cliff Kingsbury situation with Lincoln Riley. Cliff obviously got fired, but I think Lincoln would take a job in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, too, to the buyout talk, I think that we might see as a trend. We saw this with PJ Fleck a week or two ago at Minnesota. These guys who have multi-year deals that are still in existence, they're restructuring them. So they're getting raises the next 2 or 3 years, but lowered buyouts on the back end. That's probably smart on both ends. So I'm going to make more money now, but then if we struggle down the road, the school has to pay less to get rid of me. Probably benefits both of you.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I can see that. I can see that for sure.
Yep.
Jeb, were you thinking Lincoln Riley doesn't get an NFL head job? Because you may be right. It may be offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking now if he because you would think the next year or two, if he keeps playing or they keeps at the level he's been at, they would be thinking about getting rid of him. But if they can't, does he just hang around because he can? And just like,
I wonder if he goes back to the Big 12 or ACC. There has been, I don't know if the rumors are founded, but it seems like he didn't want to be in Big 10 or SEC. And he certainly had the opportunities and is in the Big 10 now.
Yeah.
If that's true, and I don't blame him if it is true, maybe you go to an ACC or back to the Big 12 where he did very well with Oklahoma.
Right.
What if he just likes Southern California? It's like, I'm just going to stay here. I can't get rid of him.
I've seen his house job. I would like it too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. USC is what you call a blue blood of college football. They're not going to, deal with 6-6 and 5-7 for too long there. So they'll probably find some way to get him out of that contract.
And I would assume he's competitive enough. He doesn't want to stay there if it's just not working anyway.
Right.
And he would be looking for something else. But it makes me wonder what would happen if he hit a situation where he just didn't care. Like
I think they're close. They're recruiting at a really high rate.
Their recruiting's done well.
So that's always one of those things too that gives
look at their schedule.
ADs, presidents, as well as a fan base at least hope. Right. That like, okay, so even if say they go 8-4 this year, I don't think they'll be happy with 6-6. Obviously they would be pissed. But if they go say 8-4 and then we've got this number 1 recruiting class. I think they're rated number 1 in 247 right now. If they can stay in the top 3, and bring in a top 3 class in the rankings in 26, and say, hey, the next 2 to 3 years we have a window, and retention, because they've had an issue with retention, right? I mean, they lost the Branch brothers, and that was
the Monty Jackson.
Yeah.
Starting QB Moss went to Louisville.
Right. Yep. So, yeah, they've had an issue with retention. That's becoming a huge thing in college football, right? You have to re-recruit your roster essentially each year to make sure that they stay. So even if right here's a poster child for it, right? I mean, the 2022 class, the number 1 class, just go look at all the guys that are no longer at Texas A&M,
right?
And didn't finish out their career there. So you got to retain, but I think they're on the right track. Like, just give it a little bit of time at USC, and I think they'll be right back there in the thick of things with Oregon, Michigan, and Ohio State at the top of that conference within 2 years.
And
Mike, you got their schedule.
They only play Oregon out of those 3 teams. I do have their.
Wow.
I will hold on. I'll share my screen.
Okay.
I don't know, recruits or not. I've just never been real impressed with Lincoln Riley yet. I understand where the hype's coming from, but it's kind of like with recruits where the potential's coming in. He's got the potential to be good. It kind of reminds me of Lane Kiffin when he was early on, where everybody loved him, but he just wasn't ready to be a head coach.
Well, they do play Michigan. I was wrong about that. It's at home.
Those first 4 games are very winnable, though. Yeah. Very winnable for them.
Oh, yeah.
At Illinois is going to be, Brett Bielema is not going to be a pushover, especially at home in that September 27th matchup.
That's your stretch right there. That Illinois, Michigan, and Notre Dame, that stretch right there is make or break on your season.
Pretty much, yep. Yeah. UCLA is not what they used to be, so that should be no issue there.
Iowa's an interesting one because the style of team Iowa could give USC problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're excited too because they got a new offensive coordinator, and I've heard a lot, not a ton, but people are high on the quarterback at Iowa.
Is he going to introduce the 4 pass this year?
He was in South Dakota State. Yeah.
So instead of averaging 10 points per game, they're now going to average about 12 points per game.
They're going to get 17. It's going to be crazy.
Oh my gosh, that place is going to go nuts if they can score 17 points a game.
You think about their margins, though, for how good they've been on D and special teams.
Oh, yeah.
If you get even up to 17 or 20, that's multiple wins a year. We're talking multiple wins a year for them.
Good night. Yeah, that's true.
It's it feels kind of crazy, though, to think that Iowa has made a playoff, and A&M hasn't, or, so many other teams in the SEC, but Iowa has.
Mm-hmm. And, you was talking about Lincoln Riley and recruiting and all that. He's kind of in the same situation as Hugh Freeze, because Hugh Freeze is recruiting at a pretty high level, at Auburn, but he just doesn't have the wins there right now. So how long are they going to last, and how long are they going to deal with that? Oh, we got Corey.
Hey, Corey.
And Steve's 1-2.
And we got Steve whenever he decides to come in.
It's the Locked On crew, guys.
There he is.
How's it going?
There they are.
What's up?
Yeah, we basically spent 30 minutes making fun of Elijah Drinkwitz,
nice,
the NCAA clearinghouse,
which is
the random media days that nothing actually happened other than Texas got the Texas A&M fight song and
right.
And
the music I was like,
but all in all, they didn't say anything.
No, we didn't learn a ton.
That was the prevailing narrative I heard too. There was multiple, big SEC media figures talking like, it was fun to be here, and like we got some good quotes, but like mostly like nothing really happened.
So supposedly, I saw that the security guard wouldn't let Saban in like the first day, like on Monday, because he didn't have the credentials or whatever. So
happened again.
Kirby said something about I do have the credentials to be here.
That happened again?
Happened again this year. Yeah.
So okay, I'm sorry, that has to be a plant. That has to be a plant.
Yeah. So somebody
Saban's going back to coaching because he's like, I don't need no credential if I'm a coach.
I know, right? So
it's always fun to
made a promo about that.
He should be. It's always fun to see the fans and like what they're mad about too. Like after like A&M, A&M fans were mad at Greg Sankey, as we're always mad at him for something, but they were mad at him because A&M always goes last, or like we're always on the last day. So they were like, he always puts something. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody's listening, and so they put Mike Elko in the back of the stage. Like, it's ridiculous.
God,
I love that.
Yep.
They put it with Drinkwitz in Kentucky. They're like, good Lord.
I opened the show. Drinkwitz
playoff.
It's like Drinkwitz had the best quote of the day though when he walked out there. At least they played the right fight song.
Yeah, that's so good.
I would be willing to bet that 95% of the journalists that were in attendance did not know the Missouri fight song, so they didn't know if they played the right one or not.
Well, that's a good point.
I couldn't tell you either. So
Missouri has a fight song.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's the same tune as "It's a Long Way to Tipperary," the World War I song. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will say that I may not be able to pin the fight song to each school, but I know the fight song, but the tune because of NCAA football and growing up playing that. Like if I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah, and you would have played against Missouri with NCAA football because back when NCAA football was a thing the first time, they were in the Big 12 together.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think Gamecocks and Georgia would be the only two fight songs I would know, and the Eyes of Texas. So
sure.
Yeah, Auburn, the War Eagle,
night are big and bright.
Tennessee's is pretty hard to miss too.
You can't. Yeah, that's everywhere.
Yeah, they just need to do Rocky Top at Tennessee instead of whatever that is.
They just make sure they make sure you don't forget it either at Tennessee.
Oklahoma at least plays Boomer Sooner 800,000 times a game, and that's the only tune that you know after the game is over.
Well, Rocky Top same way. Last year, Dylan Sampson rushed for 2 yards. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Steve, you mentioned
but it's not our fight song,
right?
Yeah, they score a touchdown and they play that, and it was like an interlude ramp up to Rocky Top. That's fight song.
That's what it needs to be. Yep.
At Williams-Brice, they just play the screeching of the Gamecock really loud whenever something big is happening.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's
the only song they do was the only two songs they know is 2001 Space Odyssey and Sandstorm.
Mm-hmm.
They're like techno warriors over there in Columbia.
Which is Sandstorm is the most electric atmosphere of my life. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we helped create it. I know.
I actually didn't know that, but okay.
What?
Yeah, 2009 Ole Miss game, and Williams-Brice was the debut of Sandstorm.
Oh,
I did know it was 09. I didn't know it was the Ole Miss game. Okay.
But I mean, it should be interesting. Honestly, nothing happened at media days, except everybody is confident, and that comes from the fact that everybody thinks that they can get to the playoffs, it seems like. And why did Texas A&M not bring Marcel Reed?
It's a great question.
Yeah,
everyone's wondering it.
Yeah, that should be a rule that if your starting quarterback situation is handled, that starting quarterback is going to SEC media days.
I don't disagree. It was something I thought was a little odd too. Now there's one thing to mention with that. A&M hasn't brought a quarterback since Kellen Mond in 2019. So for the most part,
they go to the Orange Bowl that year?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems like they would want to do that again.
You would think. And by the way, too, like Marcel Reed is great with the media.
Yeah,
right?
He's brilliant. He was an Ole Miss commit. I'm actually friends on social media with his father.
Yeah, right.
He went to elite high school, NBA. He's had a elite education at NBA in Nashville.
Yeah, his dad coached at Tennessee State. I mean,
yeah. He didn't need any media training. Like I've listened to many interviews with him, and he's really good with the media. Has a good head on his shoulder. So a little bit interesting that he wasn't brought. But at the same time, the guys that A&M did bring are captains or going to be leaders of the team. Armaj Reed Adams, Torian York, and I forget the other one. Will Lee.
I get it. I get it, but you got to bring your quarterback, dude.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
mean, Alabama did the same thing, boss man. They brought leaders and leadership of the team instead of
Kalen DeBoer saying, "Well, if the season started today, Ty Simpson would be the quarterback." Well, Ty Simpson's going to be the quarterback.
I think so.
Bring
He's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
He's just not tipping his hand. Yeah.
If it's Keelan Russell, the season has been tanked.
I hope not.
That'd be nice.
It's gonna be Ty. It's gonna be Ty.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Ty.
Ty's going to be good.
And I think Ty Simpson is going to be a low key, very, very good quarterback this season.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it will be too. I did like to Steve. You've probably talked about it multiple times at this point, but the Lane Kiffin Feinbaum interview with the fist bump and the awkwardness, that was a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like they weren't going to do an interview this year, by the way. At the very end, I don't know if it was Ole Miss reaching out to the Feinbaum people or Feinbaum reaching out to Kiffin. They just rushed that interview together. There was no preparation for it. They didn't expect him to be on the Feinbaum set.
Steve,
so that explains probably some of the awkwardness. But
I think Kiffin just was like, "Hey, I want to do Feinbaum. I'll be right back."
He did.
Walking by. Kiffin's an awkward dude. Everybody thinks his Twitter persona is the way that he is, and that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
He can be really awkward in a media and one-on-one environment, but he can be very good at the same time. It's a weird dichotomy. Because all of us could not pull that off.
For being scared and him being a little awkward. Sometimes his jokes land and sometimes his jokes are awkward. I know that because I'm the same way.
He's great in he's great, really good in two scenarios when he's talking to the media. One, obviously the press conferences, his one-liners, and shots that he takes are always
bring your popcorn.
But then the other one that he's good at, he's been good at the long form. Like when he did Theo Vaughn's podcast and he did
that was good.
The Pivot with Ryan Clark, like those long form, he's pretty good at that.
Yeah. He's good at connecting with people.
Yeah.
He is not good at the charisma factor of like somebody like Steve Spurrier, for instance. He's just a different animal than that. But he's good in his own right. But I think the Feinbaum stuff, I don't think they hate each other.
Yeah.
I think they are combative because it gets clicks.
Right.
And because Paul Feinbaum came out whenever he was at USC and the tarmac happened and he ended up getting fired, they were able to build off of that. But I think it was good. My favorite Kiffin thing was the low key. He said that he had 9 home games this season. And if you look at Ole Miss's schedule, that includes Mississippi State and Starkville.
I love it.
And nobody is talking about that.
That's good. That is good.
Everybody just knows. Everybody's
the
sad part for Mississippi State. They just know that's true. Martell Height at for Vanderbilt. Somebody asked him, "What's your favorite road environment?" He said First Bank Stadium. Because Vanderbilt's a home away.
But
that went under the radar too. I just thought about that when you said that, and I was like, oh yeah, Martell Height said that too. That's pretty funny.
Kevin took a jab at Hugh Freeze's golf game.
That's the reason they didn't notice the Mississippi State stuff because of the Hugh Freeze stuff.
Yeah,
that's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
Hey guys, will you tell me what?
I was talking about it was Deontay Lawson, the one we was trying to think of earlier, boss man, who was talking about the disrespect will be addressed right here.
Oh yeah.
So he said he sounded like a mafia hitman when he said it. My thing about that is you better get out there, and actually play hard. And they said, it's blah blah blah, all this, because if all disrespect needs to be addressed, and you're losing by 2 touchdowns to Florida State, I'm going to be highly upset.
Sure.
There's going to be a lot of sledgehammer and ant jokes too if that happens, Jake. Just be ready.
Breakthrough. That'll be a breakthrough a window game if for some reason they're down by 2 touchdowns to Florida State.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sirens will be sounding in Tuscaloosa.
Oh God!
Talk radio. come Monday. If
it already did first year. I mean, this
the call-in show at the end of the game, the post-game call-in show is going to be,
and it'll be the same way in Auburn if they lose at Baylor week 1.
Ooh,
right.
I cannot wait for that game. That game is going to be an absolute cauldron. A Big 12 opponent gets to host an SEC team in this environment.
Ooh.
Yes, sign me all the way up. And I want Baylor to win that game because if you freeze gets fired, hey, dude,
Baylor's going to be pretty solid this year.
Yeah. That's a 7:00 kickoff, I think.
Yeah,
it's going
to be hot, deep in the heart of Texas, Friday night. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we talked about that game quite a bit on off season this week because I had a Texas Tech guy on, and he very excited for that one. He picked Baylor to go. He thinks Baylor's going to be in the conference title game too.
Yeah. Auburn's going to be wearing their Stormtrooper, which is just a fantastic uniform. Oh my, sign me all the way up. I mean, I want to get through the week 0 crap so we can get to that Friday night.
Is Baylor going to wear their gold chrome domes?
No, the chrome ones. Yeah, they don't wear those anymore. They have the very.
I think it's the green
yellow
with the yellow.
Yeah.
They have the matte finish. Is it the matte green with
they changed after Art Briles.
I don't think they're matte anymore, but they're just like they kind of look like
is it like the old
80s throwbacks?
Oh, so they went back to like it's not glossy paint finish.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
it's like that color. You know the 1980s football jersey that the students wear, the Baylor line. It's that color.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and then the finish, it's just like a very just plain.
If you buy
it's not matte, it's not glossy. It's just like
if you buy a a Schutt or a Rydell off the rack at Dick's, that's what it is. And they just get the Baylor logo.
Baylor, come on, dude. Yes, so green and gold is such a good combo. You have so many options. Why Art
Briles nailed it whenever he was at Baylor, but they had to get away from looking like that because
I mean, I get that too. I get why.
Yeah.
I mean, you could add back a little flair. You don't have to go all the way.
Yeah, perhaps in 10 to 15 years.
All the way, but I mean,
Penn State didn't change their uniforms. But
they overcorrected for sure. I honestly like their greens right now. Like their greens look really, really clean. But they did overcorrect a little bit. They could go back to the middle and get a little more flair, I think. But that's also the style of Dave Aranda.
Not asking for much. Just like you don't have to do much with those colors. You just
do a green helmet, green jersey, the yellow pants with Auburn wearing the Stormtrooper, and that's a fantastic uniform game.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. They can do a little more flair. They're not in trouble anymore. All that crap went over to Liberty.
Yeah.
And pretty soon Texas Tech, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
Oh yeah, because there's some dirty stuff definitely happened in Lubbock.
Yeah.
Does any of that land at Mississippi State? I mean, Jeff Lebby's his son-in-law, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean,
right, yeah.
I'm surprised.
That's a good point.
He was an assistant there at the time.
Mike, I would not be surprised if Baylor and Texas Tech is in the Big 12 championship again this year.
That's exactly what the dude I was with projected.
Yeah.
And after Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and all them get out of the Big 12, that's probably what everybody assumed would happen.
I went Arizona State, Kansas State for my pick for the two.
No love for Iowa State.
Iowa State, listen,
they lost a lot.
Yeah.
For the longest time, Iowa State was a part of the Big 2+6 whenever the Big 8 was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot get Iowa State out of my hand because they were Oklahoma and Nebraska's whipping boy every single year.
Time.
Yeah.
That's back when they had the ISU with the Cyclone and the Bird.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The Seneca Wallace special.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually before they were actually worse before Seneca Wallace. Seneca Wallace was a really good player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They went like a 25-year stretch with only having 2 winning seasons.
Jeez.
I mean, that's
wow.
Yeah. It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
They're good now though. So
Campbell's been
Matt Campbell was awesome.
Good coach.
It's a wonder he's not moved to the NFL yet or had an NFL job.
He turned one down.
Did he? Okay.
He turned down the Lions, and I think he's turned down the Bears too before.
Wow.
That was smart.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah, that's true. The Lions now, I probably, but Matt,
He turned down the Lions
Campbell,
before Dan Campbell took him.
Yeah.
Hey, he secretly has a pretty good gig. He's getting paid well. He doesn't have to win more than 6 or 7 games a year, and he's a hero because historically they've not been very good, and he's a good enough coach that they're going to win those games.
Yeah.
So
They win 8.
They win 8 games a year. They got a statue going up for him. He's making $2 million in Ames, Iowa. Like, dude, that might as well be like 20 million somewhere else.
If you look at budgets and everything that goes on, Iowa State cannot be that much above like North Dakota State.
Right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Jeb, I got a question for you, man. What about coming out of SEC Media Days, Tennessee? What did you think? Heupel, where do you feel like the pulse of the fan base for Tennessee is?
Man. Well, okay. So it didn't technically 100% watch a lot of SEC Media Days. I've had busy about how I just wasn't paying attention. But as far as where Tennessee is right now, I don't know. A lot of people have talked about that. Like they feel like, is Heupel going to get on the hot seat if we don't have a huge season and things like that? I just don't feel like Tennessee fans are going to be upset at him. Unless, I mean, we win 5 or 6 games, then yeah, people are going to get mad. But if he can go 8-4 with this team, honestly, everybody's going to be happy with him.
If you lose, if you only win 4, then there's definitely. But you'll win at least 8.
He's not done that since he got here. I mean, the way he's coached since he's got here has shown he can win more than he's expected to, which we haven't had in 20 years, so or more. So somebody that can do that. So honestly, no, he's been the best coach we've had since Philip Fulmer.
And let me tell you, that's helping him is he's 2-2 right now against Alabama.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's helping
Florida,
his credit.
Can't beat Georgia yet, but that's okay.
That's coming, probably.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Beating Georgia is not that hard, everybody.
Shut up.
I mean, Steve, man, you did it last year, so.
Oh, man.
But we don't hate Georgia like we do Alabama, so.
Right. There's a different thing.
Yeah. I beg to differ. I've been to Knoxville for those Georgia-Tennessee games, and there's not a lot of love there. So
no,
we don't like Georgia at all.
Rival, but it's not Alabama. That's another thing.
I mean, Alabama has a say within the team and the players, even past players. They say Derrick Henry made it famous. He said, we have to hate Auburn because we have to. We hate Tennessee because we want to. So I mean, it's a deep hatred.
Yeah. But no, Tennessee's recruiting well. So honestly, if he has a down year, people aren't going to be that mad. Oh, fans won't be that mad at him.
Two of the most insufferable fan bases in college football, too. It's great.
Wait, we're not talking about Florida, are we? Oh, God, Florida's awful.
Are we starting fights now? I'm in. Let's go.
So, Jake, when Derrick Henry made those comments, did he then turn around after he made those comments and power clean a truck?
Probably. Picked one up and rolled it over on the side of something, did not.
Threw it on his back and ran up a hill.
Probably. That dude's a freak athlete.
Yeah. But Boss Man, what I want to know is Shamar Stewart coming back to school? What's going on?
Yeah, what's on with that? Because I heard
that came up last night too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the story with that?
So it's kind of convoluted, and frankly, I've seen a couple videos of people who, frankly, don't really know what they're talking about. But the quick of it is that obviously the Bengals are as cheap as it comes in the NFL. And so he's in a big dispute with them. He's been practicing with the team at A&M for, they've said, the summer. So I think that probably is at least the last month he's been in College Station practicing, lifting, all that with the team while this stuff gets worked out with the Bengals. So there's speculation. Look, everything at this point is subject to litigation with the NCAA. I mean, the NCAA is at this point, so weakened that, hey, let's sue him and see if we can get that rule overturned. And maybe he can come back because right now he's eligible. Obviously, he got drafted. But
that's what I was going to ask. Had that rule changed? Because
it has not changed. So they would have to sue.
Okay.
They would have to
sue. It's always been automatic and eligible.
Go up for A&M and go, hey, do something about it.
Well, that's the thing. That's what people are saying. Like, hey, there's obviously boosters and folks at A&M. There's a lot of money at A&M. They'll bankroll it if he wants to sue to try to get back. So there's that piece of it. Then the other piece of it, and this is the piece that like folks are kind of getting wrong, is okay. Well, if he comes back to A&M and he re-enters the draft, can he get drafted by anybody else? Like it's the MLB, like does the Bengals' rights go away? And the truth is,
after a year that does, they don't.
Yeah, I don't think they do. So what I've heard is that the Bengals retain his rights, so they would have to trade his rights to somebody else if that happens. I don't think it works the same as the MLB.
The NHL is like that.
The Bucks traded Bo Jackson's rights to the Raiders.
Correct. Yes. So it would have to be, Shamar Stewart would have to get traded to somebody. His rights would have to get traded during, the season when Shamar was playing at A&M, because otherwise, he wouldn't go back into the draft. He would, go straight back to the Bengals and straight back into the same situation that he's in right now.
And holding out.
Well, you said Bengals are cheap, but I mean, he's pretty much locked into a price from where he got drafted. Is it just all over one clause in the contract?
It's one clause, yeah.
Yes,
and so
it's over voiding language.
Yeah, it's all about if he gets injured. It's guaranteed money. So they're talking about guaranteed money, and then if there's an injury, a catastrophic injury, et cetera, they could recoup a lot of that guaranteed money. And
so I thought it was more like if he did something stupid and got kicked off, kicked out of the league or something.
No, it's like,
but if it's injury, that's kind of messed up.
He breaks his leg and he's never the same again, and he can't play and whatever.
I'm back on his side now. Okay.
So which means the money that's not a guaranteed contract.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So what's happening is, and apparently this is like, everyone in the NFL knows this. They just hate the Bengals because of their front office, because they're very, very cheap in this way. They're always trying to like nickel and dime. Joe Burrow, I think behind the scenes is pissed about this. They just had the issue. Who's the
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase just had this issue with him when he was negotiating his contract. So I think these stipulations are in effect with some other contracts with other teams in the NFL.
Correct, they are.
But the Bengals have never done it, and the NFLPA is pushing Shamar Stewart to say no, like do not do this.
Don't set a precedent.
Don't set this precedent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So,
and I don't blame him. Like that's
So, how much does a head coach have say in a situation of a contract like that? Because I guarantee you, I was going to say Zach Taylor's probably like, man, I need this dude on my defense. My defense got shellacked last year.
He's got to be going into his GM's office and the money strings people and just being like, figure this the F out.
Yeah, exactly.
They just lost too. They had what was the guy's name? Was it
Hendrickson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. They had a big loss on the defensive line, just last year. So they need Shamar Stewart there. So yeah, if
absolutely.
I'm Zach Taylor, I'm pissed.
That's why they're always terrible.
Their organization podcast before the NFL draft called me up, and we had like a 20-minute conversation on Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan was selected one pick before in the draft. That was going to be Walter Nolan with the call. All of this drama going on would have been Walter Nolan if it wasn't Shamar Stewart ending up there. They needed a defensive lineman, and they tried to get one by Shamar Stewart. That's what happened. They tried to get a clause to where if something happened, they could pull it away, and it's like, sorry, you signed it.
You're right.
Right.
And Shamar Stewart said, nah, cuz.
Good for him to read it and find it for sure.
He's got a good agent for sure.
Good for his agent.
Yes, absolutely.
So but to put a bow on that, Jeb, I think there's like a 0.001% chance that he's back at A&M playing this year, based on all those things. And at the end of the day, like, I think they're going to figure it out in Cincinnati because it's still really freaking good money, right? I mean, we're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars versus a couple $1 million should he come back to A&M.
And I can't imagine them not getting this worked out. But when you're talking about retaining rights, can they redraft him next year in like the 6th round and then sign him at 6th round pricing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They retained his rights. So he wouldn't go back into the draft. The Bengals would have to trade his rights to like the Titans or the Raiders or something. So he wouldn't,
but they wouldn't
go back in.
But they wouldn't be locked in it.
But there's
pricing next year.
That,
they
right?
could just contract.
Probably would be locked in.
2 years.
So would they lose a draft pick per se if that happened? If they trade his rights or anything?
No.
Well, it'd be what you get for him. It'd be what you'd get in return for the trade.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
They get, a third rounder and a fifth rounder and cash considerations, or maybe they would get, a player.
Okay.
So
it's just like a basic trade.
That rights thing happens in the NHL because you get a lot of guys get drafted their senior year of high school. Then they'll either go to college or go to juniors in Canada or in the U.S. And then in 4 or 5 years, that team still owns your rights.
Okay.
So, God, but now everybody's going to be terrified of getting drafted by the Bengals.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, it should be. Bengals did this to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they loaded the gun, cocked it, and pointed it straight at their foot. They have only themselves to blame.
Yeah, that's right.
On the upside, it's no longer terrified of being drafted by the Browns. So good for the Browns.
Like, thank you, Cincinnati. Thank you.
Right, yeah.
And the Jets are saying the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
2 minutes, right? All right. So
2 minutes.
thanks for joining us. SEC Media Days was a blast. It was a lot of interesting things. Nothing over the top interesting, but also interesting enough to be the best league in all of college football, and just everyone exuding confidence. It's great. Hopefully you feel good about your team as well. So Jake Thomas, Bama After Dark has lifted off the ground, and it's going to be a fun ride as you get a double scoop of Alabama athletics with Jake Thomas. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Jeb, whenever he starts whatever he's going to do, it'll be outstanding. Mike Huseman, Offseason After Dark. He's even got swag right there. So if you want to hit him up, if you want that hat, it's a pretty sweet hat.
Those of you Georgia fans out there should tune in next week. We have a Kennesaw State guy coming on who does a pod.
Go Owls.
Go Owls, yeah.
Kennesaw State, hell yeah. All right, Boss Man, you and Hammer just kicking complete ass with Biscuits and SEC. If you're missing out on that, you're truly missing out. Locked On Ole Miss, Steve, I think you're reaching 5 million views and 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's the plan. Over the next couple of weeks, that should happen.
So congrats on that. Big time congrats on that. I don't know. I joke around and say it's 15 billion, but it's not. You're not long for that. And then I'm Corey Burton, host of Locked On Vandy and the Regular Guys podcast, which is going to be electric once we finally kind of get it. We're still kind of cruising. We're not to cruising altitude yet, but we're getting there. And so it's going to be electric once we do get there. So hang on for the ride. And it's going to be a fun one, but we all join together, SEC After Dark. And this is going to be the best network of all time. Once we reach cruising altitude as a network. But until next week, for Stephen Willis, Boss Man, Jake Thomas, Jeb Beecham, Mike Huseman, I'm Corey Burton. We'll see you next week. Go Dogs. Anchor down.
Peace.
Spurs up.
Roll Tide.
Giggles.